grow the business? So obviously you've gone through this period of transition. You're figuring out what you want to do. It's working. You love it. How did you start to grow that into a profitable, sustainable business?
I think that one of the things that I got really good at in my former career that has been a really, really good transferable skill has been able to put something into a process and then figure out that, like, put that process into practice, see if it works, and then actually just adjust and change it. So just before we hit record on this, actually, I was just saying that I had been trying a new lead strategy this week, and I always test everything that I go and give my clients to do. And again, this was just a process. Like, this was like, cool, here's some leads coming in. They're coming in through a certain funnel. Here's how I'm going to contact them. I'm going to contact them differently, which this week happened to be phone calls, some old school marketing here.
Love it.
And I'm just testing it. And it's literally just a process. And I think if you can articulate the process, or if you can envision the starting point and the end goal, you're just breaking it down into micro steps, and that's your process, right? Then implementing the process and adjusting it over time. What's working, what's not working. And I don't know, maybe I'm making that sound too simple because I've been doing it for the longest time in other businesses, but I think that when I started my business, I was like, okay, cool, here's the result I want people to have. This is what I want business women's lives to look like. I don't want them to be stressed. From my knowledge, what tools and resources do I have, and how can I put it in words that they understand, and it's a process that they understand, that they too could do it. So, for example, just how I changed from being stressed out leader into becoming a yogi and going, okay, cool, this is how I'm living my life now, and what did I actually learn? I literally just wrote down what that actual process was and was like, okay, cool, well, let's just get a few people and see if this process actually would work for other people, or was it just me because I was from corporate? No, turns out it works for everyone, and you can rinse and repeat that. But I think for a lot of business owners starting out, they also overcomplicate the starting point, and you just have to give stuff a shot. Like, I'm a curious person naturally, so I just try and figure stuff out. And when I got to a point where I couldn't figure out anymore, I didn't know what, maybe systems or platforms I needed, because I'd always worked for corporates, so they always have their websites done and all of that sort of stuff. Then I enlisted in my own business coach. So I've had business coaches pretty much since I would say within the first 12 months of starting my business, just for all the stuff that I don't need. And I think that with business mentoring as well, it's like, take what you need, leave what you don't overthink what you need from the person. If you get what you needed from the person, great, like, move on.
Yeah.
So yeah, just, I guess, processing and systemizing, my knowledge into something that is tangible and solution orientated for people to implement in their lives too, really.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And I also love that you said, maybe this is too simple, but it's like, it should be simple, right? You're so spot on. I think as business owners, we're kind of seeing too big sometimes. So we're going, oh my God, I want to be a billionaire. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. How the heck am I going to do it? And it is that really distilling it into those daily actions, the process, the system. And also, it doesn't have to be perfect on day one. What you put out on day one does not have to be the same thing that you put out on day two. Like, you are allowed to improve it, right? It's actually, that's my word for the year. I'm excited because I only just figured it out last night. It's elevate. So it is. So, I always talk about constant improvement and optimization, all of that stuff, but I've really resonated with the word elevate this year, because it is that, how do I just make everything a little bit better? That system a little bit more efficient, the podcast studio a little cuter, the technology a little better, the whatever. But it all comes back to just those tiny, small increments.
100%. I think the Japanese call it kaizen. Is
Yes.
the
Yeah.
1% micro improvements. And I 100% agree. It's like, okay, cool, this is working. How can we just polish it? Like, how can we
Yeah.
just make it that extra little bit better? I was talking about this with my clients at a VIP mastermind the other day, and it was like, cool, so your process is good, but like what would make it so good they would never want to leave you? Like
Yeah.
what are those like tiny little 1%ers that no other business is doing? And again, like we were talking about just before, like the snail mail Christmas card, like just that little
Yes.
touch that's like no one else is going to be doing that. Like the big brands people are buying with and the big, corporate companies, like they're not doing that. So like how can we as small business owners just bring that personal touch? Service is not dead. Service is not, it's dead in a lot of places.
Yeah. And
In
it's
shopping lately, it's definitely dead in a lot of places, but it doesn't need to be.
absolutely. And I think, to your point, even about the old school marketing, the actual picking up the phone and making a phone call, that is why stuff like that works, because we're all just became obsessed with TikToks that we forgot about the fact that usually our customers just want to feel seen and
Mhm.
heard and valued and appreciated and like they got the thing that you actually told them they would get.
Yeah, absolutely. And people will give you the attention back in the form that you give it to them. So if you're giving them attention in the form of, Instagram Reels, then they're going to watch more Instagram Reels. If you connect with them in person and they love it and you provide a great experience, they're going to want to come back and connect with you in person again. If you give them a call and they love the connection on the call, they're going to want you to ring them back again. So it's like however you give them the energy, they're going to want more of that. So you get to decide. So many business owners are like, I hate being on social media, and yet they just keep feeding the monster. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're going to be there forever.
Totally. Yeah, it's like if you don't want to do it, don't do it. Find the thing that you like doing and find where your customers are and just do that.
100%. I don't have funnels built in the back. Like I've got some automations, but I'm not doing like the full, funnel thing in the back end of my business. I'm a people person. I want to communicate with them. I don't want everything to be systemized and optimized in my business like that, because it doesn't feel congruent for me. It might feel congruent for someone else, but it doesn't align with my values.